Yeah, we see his start. He has his one Tapu Lele in hand, deciding to keep it in the deck over that Remoraid. Or over the Octillery, I'm sorry.
Going to go ahead and play an Ultra Ball. As you know, he started with that Baby Buzzwole, as it's known, the non-GX Buzzwole that we've been talking about. Probably the most important card, I think, that come out in recent time, although there has been a lot of them. Remoraid is going to hit the bench, going to power up that Octillery we talked about a little bit ago.
Yeah, definitely one of the ideal starts for this Buzzwole Lycanroc deck. Getting that Remoraid down turn one of your biggest soft spots is to end later on in the game. But wow, a Sycamore there coming down from Pramawat here, discarding another Sycamore, Lele, and Lycanroc. He did have the opportunity to Tapu Lele for maybe a Cynthia or an N, but chose that really aggressive route.
So why do you think one of the reasons, like why would he choose to do that rather than taking the safer play? He just wants to draw as many cards as possible?
So you could see it that way, but honestly, depending on his list, I think he went to the 2-2 Lycanroc now. So you're kind of like, I can afford to Super Rod this back later if I need to.
Makes sense.
And then, as we were talking about Tapu Lele before, how these decks play one now, they really don't even want to bench it most of the time. It is such a liability on the bench. And remember when we were talking about them trying to force them into 2 turns of Beast Ring, where, okay, you're going to go to 4 prizes, I'm going to knock out something, you're going to go to 3 prizes, and then I'm going to knock out something again.
Right. There's a Max Elixir, hits, finds that fighting energy, one of 9 in Michael's list. Attach from the hand, and a pass back to Pedro.
All right, so Pedro having that Bridget in hand is super important here because he started that Tapu Lele, meaning if he didn't have that Bridget, he would need to Ultra Ball for another Tapu Lele just so we can get that Bridget this turn.
So before Pedro takes his turn, before we look at the specifics, what do you just think of the matchup on paper? We've got Buzzwole Lycanroc versus Zoroark Lycanroc. Pedro, of course, does have the Mew EX and the Mewtwo we were talking about earlier. Try to counter the Buzzwole, but how do you think it plays out just kind of, most of the time?
So honestly, looking at his list, it's almost identical to Sheffield, the one that won. It does have 1 basic fighting over a 4th strong, which I actually think hurts it in this matchup more than it helps, because you need that strong energy and double colorless on a Lycanroc to take a knockout on a Buzzwole. But if you have 1 less strong, there's going to be more times that you actually just can't be able to find it.
Right. Interesting. So he may be just trying to find room, cut down, sticking with 4 non-colorless energy, but you think it's actually going to end up hurting him here?
Yeah, well, you basically go into the tournament and you're like, all right, what am I afraid of? Well, there could be a random person playing Xurkitree GX, but that 1 fighting doesn't help with that. It's really just so you do not get blown out by Enhanced Hammer. And in this matchup, he's not going to have to worry about that. So it's really going to see end with those 2 double colorless prized. He's going to try to be forced to go more Lycanroc early. And we'll have to see if it ends up hurting him.
We see he does Bridget for 3 Zoroark, ends up Ultra Balling for a Rockruff. Going to go ahead and attach a Strong to that Rockruff, so that's a nice play to have. It just has a pass back with the Tapu Lele GX active.
Pram draws for the turn and N. His
there it
hand
is.
Brooklet Hill, Beast Energy, Choice Band, and his hand went from, it's all right, I'm going to do 90 to this Tapu Lele, which I'm sad to say that I think that's all right.
Yeah, that's only an all right turn 2 play.
Turn 2 90 for 1. But drawing this N here just keeps his hand alive.
Yeah, I mean, and just look at Michael Pramawat's board on turn 2. He has a Beast Ring, Choice Band, Buzzwole active. Beast Energy, right, sorry. 1 on the bench with 2 energy already. And then look at Pedro's. He's got 3 Zoroark. You just got to be feeling the pressure immediately.
Now, to be fair, personally, Zoroark Lycanroc would have been my deck of choice if I was playing. Pedro had almost one of the perfect starts. It's actually fine starting Tapu Lele here because it means he doesn't take a knockout on a Zorua.
On a relevant Pokemon, right.
And since he plays Acerola, maybe he could draw it off that N, do something. But getting that strong energy on that Rockruff turn 1, that's what you need, because you kind of have this feeling of being safe, not essentially against Buzzwole, but of players going, oh, Tapu Lele, get Guzma, double colorless, Guzma up your Rockruff, 60 HP that you touch with energy to knockout. That 70 HP Rockruff is probably one of the biggest additions for Zoroark Lycanroc, because now you can go strong energy, and then next turn, double colorless, Lycanroc, bring up one of your guys, float stone my active, knockout.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We've seen people switch off of the kind of, in a vacuum, I think, better Rockruffs just for that extra HP, as we see Michael Pramawat has the artillery on the board.
Meanwhile, Pram is playing that one corner because, he wants to steal a game with that.
Yeah, corner, I think, is kind of the... You'll see one, basically, in my experience.
Oh, that's so much damage. Getting that Diancie with that Brooklet Hill, or just drawing it off the end. I'm not sure which one order he did. But 110 damage now. Turn 2 for 1 energy.
Yep, putting Pedro in a pretty tough spot. Looks like Pedro's going to go ahead and activate the Brooklet Hill, finding another Rockruff. Again, this card's just so
corner!
Yeah, that's the corner one.
So his hand is actually sick right here. He has Timer Ball. If he hits 2 heads, this is going to be a great turn.
All right.
My personal experience, I've hit 2 heads a lot with Timer Ball.
Lucky.
I've never hit 1 heads. I either hit 2 heads or 0 heads.
All right. Average luck.
He also has the Lycanroc already in hand.
So what do you think of this here? Pedro plays the Parallel City, limiting Pram's bench, and he chooses to get rid of the Rockruff. Do you think that's forced, basically?
Oh, it's definitely forced. This Parallel City is huge. All 4 Pokemon on Pram's bench he wanted to keep. That Rockruff is going to be so important later on, especially against the Lycanroc that's going to come down this turn. And yeah, we saw the 2 heads.
Yep,
getting
I was going to say,
Zoroark.
we also just see 2 heads, 2 Zoroark GXs, 2 trades available, and both players doing a really good job of going off.
Yeah, but you can't really, on Pram's side, you can't really get rid of Octillery. That's your late game, I need this.
Of course.
And then you spent a turn charging up that Buzzwole on the bench, and then Diancie, it's gone forever if it's off the field. So you can't really get rid of that. So he was kind of forced to do that Rockruff, like you said. And seeing Michael's face there as...
like you said, 2 heads, 2 tails, just like we drew it up.
Murphy's Law or Commentator's Curse, I don't know. I don't know what.
Another trade from
and
Pedro.
A 3rd Zoroark off that top of the deck. He has the Acerola in hand as well.
He sure
this
does.
This is the best possible hand Pedro could have started with these first 2 turns. Pick up that Tapu Lele. Now has the Lycanroc double colorless. And he could choose to take a knockout on the active or the bench Buzzwole. I think you have to go for the active to get that beast energy out of play.
Does he have the Lycanroc in hand? I did not.
He does.
Oh, he does. Okay, there it is.
His hand's insane.
Yeah, this is. I mean, that's what triple Zoroark will do for you, right?
Yeah, and well, he also found that double colorless when he only had 2 in the deck, which was pretty good.
Sometimes you got to rely on that stuff. Of course, prizes playing a big factor. The top of your deck can matter a lot. There's a Field Blower. Just going to go ahead and get rid of that Choice Band.
The Field Blower might signify that he's eyeing something else with this Bloodthirsty Eyes. You don't really want to get rid of a card like that when your opponent plays these Brooklet Hills, these Float Stones, these Choice Bands. You really just want to maximize, get that 2 cards off of it. But with here, yeah, he's going to bring up that Octillery. And so huge turn here from Pedro. Parallel City getting rid of the Rockruff. And then this Lycanroc GX taking down the Octillery using Claw Slash.
So why do you target down the Octillery there rather than one of the kind of bigger, more threatening attackers?
Well, the thing is, these Buzzwole aren't really that threatening without all these damage modifiers. Right now, he's looking down like, all right, you got a Beast Energy. I got rid of your Choice Band. Of course, he got another one, got another Rockruff. Strong energy on the Rockruff.
Classic Prams.
This game's been back and forth. I really don't know who is going to win this game.
I think that is a strategy that we've seen. You'll see some players take. So this is actually relevant in the Malamar decks too, where sometimes the answer is you need to knock out the Malamars. You need to stop what they're doing. And Octillery, not exactly the same as Malamar, but it's kind of okay, I'm going to take this knockout here and kind of cut you off later in the game.
Yeah, you sacrifice your early game. You're like, okay, you'll probably take like 4 or 5 prizes, but you're never going to take that 6th prize.
Yeah, when I end you down to 1 or 2, you're not going to have any way to draw out of it.
Oh, there we see the Mew EX in Pedro's hand off that N, a very important card in this matchup as well. Mostly later on, though, because this Lycanroc's able to just clean up these Buzzwoles.
Pedro ahead here. Seems to be basically hitting everything he needs. Pramawat's good start could not match Pedro's as he just goes ahead, attacks 110, passes the turn.
Pedro draws another Lycanroc GX, and granted, to be fair, we're talking about how great the start is. He only really has this Lycanroc. I don't know if he found that double colorless in the prizes, but he really needs to find another energy to get down on that Rockruff on the bench.
I'm just assuming he's gonna find ways to do things with three Zoroarks in play.
Maybe. It's not like he draws 6 cards a turn extra. Wonder Tag here for the Guzma. Might just be trying to save this Lycanroc. Might just, because he has the other one in hand as well. It would be interesting if he tries to see if he can take a knockout with Zoroark here as well. Oh, Enhanced Hammer coming in huge right now. Being able to get rid of either the Beast Energy on the active or the Strong Energy on the Rockruff on the bench. Just essentially setting back Michael a turn.
Which one do you think you hit here, the Strong or the Beast?
I mean, honestly, I couldn't tell you at this point. Both are really good. It really depends if he actually chooses to Guzma up the Rockruff or Bloodthirsty Eyes the Rockruff. Then, of course, you're going to do the Beast Energy. But if you want the Buzzwole down, then you take off the Strong Energy.
Basically, whatever one you think is still going to be on the board the next turn you're going to take down.
We could also see a play where he goes Enhanced Hammer the active, double puzzle of time, Enhanced Hammer the strong, and then Lycanroc bring up the bench Buzzwole, and all of a sudden all the energy on Pram's side of the board is done.
It looks like he might be considering that, looking through his discard pile. He does have the 2 puzzle of time. There's the Bloodthirsty Eyes targeting down the Rockruff.
Not only 2 puzzle of time, there's 3 puzzle of time. He is reaching a critical mass, going for that full 4 puzzle of time where you play 4 of them and you just show off to your opponent.
There's a knockout from Pedro. No more Rockruff on Pram's side of the board.
Yeah, things are looking rough here for Pram.
We're looking a little less rough than they were. You know, no Rockruff, like we said.
Staring down essentially 2 Lycanrocs charged up from Pedro here. And Buzzwole not known for playing energy disruption like Enhanced Hammer. But let's see. Here's the thing. Pedro is down to 4 prizes now, meaning Pram could go off here with a big turn of Beast Rings.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about. Pedro, even though he is ahead, is, again, at 4 prizes. Beast Ring is active. I don't know Pram's hand. Don't know if he has access to it, but he's going to want to...
and again, losing that artillery kind of lowers the explosiveness of this turn.
Exactly. I think that was a good... I think that's a play that a lot of newer, less experienced players might not make. You know, they might be afraid to take out the attackers, but taking out the artillery may have actually, maybe a key to the game here.
Oh, charging up that Diancie Prism Star. It does attack for 90 damage, which is just enough to knock out Lycanroc.
There's another Max Elixir.
Yeah, I also appreciate Pram playing the Super Rod before he plays his Max Elixirs. A play that people really overlook.
Here's the Beast Ring. So wow, that's 2, 3, 4 energy attached this turn, and we haven't had an attachment from the hand yet.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty reasonable.
It's all right. And remember, Sledgehammer's doing 120 damage this turn. Nothing to laugh at.
Ran with a basic fighting and a strong in hand, I think, kind of deciding.
He has the Ultra Ball as well, so this is interesting. He Super Routed back to the Tapu Lele. So he could Ultra Ball, but it means getting rid of 2 energy, strong being one of them. And yet he chooses not to. Really just like, okay, I'm going to get more cards in my hand. I can do it next turn.
Yeah, it's going to make the decisions once you have more information. You get to see what your opponent does. You get to take 2 prizes. Smart play by Pramawat. Pram is, again, one of the best players in the world. Not someone to kind of make small sequencing mistakes most of the time. Just really going to play to his outs.
If you look at his board as well, there is no 2 prizer on that board, meaning B-String will be active next turn no matter what. Pedro's really going to have to look for maybe an N here this turn.
Definitely something Pedro is thinking about. Just turns and turns of B-String, which he actually has in hand for Michael Pramawat.
Yeah, Pram's hand is insane. He got the B-String and the Brooklet Hill off of the prizes. That is a Buzzwole GX in itself.
Exactly. We do see Pedro has found a double colorless, so he's going to be able to attack with the Lycanroc. And here's the end.
Yeah.
That's the card you said would matter. Maybe not at this point yet, but that absurd hand of Pram's is going back in the deck.
Yeah, Pram had 5 cards in his hand. He's just going down to 4 now, but we'll have to see if he actually can get a lot of his gas going.
Yeah, his hand was pretty stacked, so it's not as simple as just losing a card, but still a lot of powerful cards in the deck for Pramawat.
And remember, Pedro, he still has all these trades.
I think this is a second one?
Yeah.
He just did?
N does not hurt a Zoroark deck with 3 Zoroarks in play at all.
You can see Pedro shaking his head, looking at some body language there, maybe not drawing what he needs despite having so many trades.
It could be interesting. The Mewtwo here is a pretty good pickup off that last trade, especially with at least 1 double colorless left in his prizes. He could spike that off, and it's just a pretty good attacker, especially against the Buzz GX.
Yeah, non-EX Pokemon, hits for weakness, going to punish Buzz for having energy on it. Mewtwo has just been a huge factor in all of this.
All right, Diancie coming up just because it can retreat if you want to. It won't leave your friends behind.
Here's an Ultra Ball from Michael Pramawat's side.
Man, what a hand. It is Ultra Ball, I think a Rockruff, a Strong Energy, and a B-String.
Yep.
And maybe a Cynthia.
Yep, no more Strong Energy, no more Rockruff. Instead, that's going to get turned into a Buzzwole GX, it looks like, from that Ultra Ball.
Yeah, you're kind of forced into this position just because, yeah, if you do the B-String and then attach a Strong, you're left without a hand. And sure, you take the knockout on the Lycanroc, but you really just want to keep playing the game.
Yeah, the next few turns will not be pretty for you if that's what you choose to do, but instead, Pramawat's going to do all that and then play a Cynthia. Draw 6 fresh cards. So what is he looking for here off this Cynthia? What does he want to draw?
Ironically, a Strong Energy.
Okay.
Choice Band would be another good hit. Let's see. Choice Band, but he doesn't have another energy.
He does miss the energy there. I didn't see how many were left in his deck after he played the B-String.
I believe there was 2 Strong Energy at least, and maybe another Fighting, but wow.
Yeah,
we might just see a very anemic turn here from Pramawat.
Yeah, he just kind of drew the wrong half of the cards he needs. He has a lot of powerful cards in his deck, but none of them are the energy.
He drew 3 Guzma.
Yeah, none of them are the ones that allow him to actually attack profitably.
Yeah, if he would have seen those Guzma early on, this would have been a completely different game.
Looks like Pramawat debating the retreat here, just thinking over his options.
So a retreat means 60 or 80 to the active Lycanroc with a Buzz, but you're going to try to knock it out. Yeah, you're going to try to knock it out anyway. Although, to be fair, now he's going to lose this Diancie Prism, meaning he needs the Strong Energy now for the Buzzwole GX to take a knockout. Another basic Fighting will not work.
So Pram just kind of saying, I'm going to take the slightly riskier line. That's just, I have to hope that I hit the Strong next turn, and just you can just have the Diancie.
He also does have the out of just going Guzma take a knockout on Zoroark, Guzma taking a knockout on Zoroark, and just ignoring the Lycanroc altogether.
Which we do know he has the 2 Guzma in hand
3.
as of now. 3 Guzma in hand as of now.
But it's really going to come down to maybe Pedro finding a Mew EX or the Mewtwo and getting a knockout on that Buzzwole GX.
So we see Pedro almost play the end there, think about playing it, and then he decided to trade. Generally what you want to do there, important with Zoroark GX sequencing, just kind of use your trades up first and then decide on things you kind of can't take back.
So the multi-switch is a very cool card. He chooses to discard it there, but it could be something cute to note later on in this match. Just being able to surprise Claw Slash out of nowhere, surprise Dangerous Rogue out of nowhere, even just surprise a Mew EX. It's really important.
A little bit less of a surprise now that Pramawat knows about it.
Oh, I think it's a one of in every store. Like it's known at this point. And there you go. There's 2 cards in the Lost Zone. I think 5 more Pokemon away in the Lost Zone until you win with Lost World.
Oh, but it looks like Michael Pramawat is going to go ahead and concede. Just thinking, I need to save time. I think I'm in a really rough spot. Looks like he had 2 strong energy prized. Doesn't think he can get back into it, so he's just going to go ahead and jump into the next game.
Now, all you Pramawat fans, don't be afraid. This deck has some very explosive turns like we saw, and anything can happen. But Lycanroc being just such a huge attacker in this matchup, being able to take out everything in Pram's side of the field.
Oh, I mean, if you're a Michael Pramawat fan, you're never worried when he plays a match. I mean, I've seen this guy. He's supposed to Mallow. He's supposed to put 2 cards he wants on top of his deck. He messes up. He just has to draw the top 2. They're the 2 he would have put there anyway. I mean, it doesn't matter what deck he's playing. It's Michael Pramawat. It's classic Prams. He did not get there in game 1, but so we'll have to see if games 2 and 3 will be a little bit different.
Yeah, going first again didn't really help him because Pedro started that Tapu Lele. Again, if he started a Zorua or a Rockruff, completely different game.
So what do you think that Pramawat needs to be different here in order to win? What went wrong in that game that Pram needs to fix this game? We should take a look at the prizes real quick. Baby Buzz, Lycanroc.
So he had a lot of hard discards. Earlier on with that Parallel City, discarding that Rockruff, man, that was huge.
Yeah, that was rough.
And then, of course, having to discard that Strong Energy off that Ultra Ball, just so he can try to keep things going.
The very card he would need later.
Then, the very card he needs the next turn or even that turn. It was really just a series of unfortunate events that came out.
So just hopefully a stronger opening hand, maybe some better draws in the middle of the game will lead Michael Pramawat to victory, or will Pedro tie things up or win the second game, win the match, advance in the tournament. Nothing huge prize.
We have a confused Mew EX on the board.
Was it upside down? I was not looking. Mew EX versus Rockruff. Michael Pramawat's going first, playing here, hoping to win this match, tie things up. Max Elixir is the first play, and it hits. Of course it does.
And one thing I actually love right now is with that one basic fighting energy, you can actually attach it to Mew and copy like Dangerous Rogue or copy something like that. It's very cute. Maybe only works like 1 out of 10 games, but it's worth it.
You're going to play a lot of games here at the North America International Championship as another Max Elixir comes down. 2 energy on the very first turn. There's a third from the hand and a Cynthia from Michael Pramawat.
It's an all right turn. It's an all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
3
casual.
energy, like he could get 4. Although he still has 6 more cards.
He didn't go big. It's kind of like, it reminds me of when people would, play a lot of Gets This and expand it, and it's like, I only get this for 8 or 9. That's not the max. It's not perfect.
One thing that would be pretty insane here from Michael would be, or maybe 2 Max Elixirs?
The double Max Elixir.
All 4 Max Elixirs turn 1. Let's go. Please, I want to see it.
He actually just decides to play none of them and just pass the turn back to Pedro.
Yeah, the interesting thing is with the Mew being active, if Pedro gets the Tapu Lele in play, he could commit a double Colossus to the Mew and take a knockout on the Rockruff because it is the 160 HP one in his deck.
Ooh, that's actually a good point. Maybe come back to bite him a little bit.
But looking at Pedro's hand, it does not look like he has that option. But he is choosing to discard a Zoroark GX.
It looks like he was struggling a little bit with that Ultra Ball.
Yeah, he had the Strong Energy and then I think 2 Zoroarks in his hand as well.
Kind of determining what to discard there. Taking a look through his deck, figuring out his prizes.
Yeah,
It's like he's counting float stones.
You really kind of all right, you identify what are the important cards in the matchup. Well, Floatstone's important because it's going to save this Mew EX for the next few turns. It also can like Floatstone your active Zoroark to surprise a Mew or a Mewtwo. And then, of course, looking for all the puzzles. And he actually has the Tapu Lele in hand. So opting no Bridget here, Ultra Balls for that Zorua, and is now looking to eye down maybe a Cynthia?
It looks like he's still kind of taking
his hand
time.
is a Strong Energy and a Choice Band.
So that can be one of the rough things. I think, obviously Bridget, Tapu Lele into Bridget is a very common play, but you cannot afford to make those type of plays when it leaves you with nothing else. You're just hoping to top deck.
Yeah, well, I also like this play because it still leaves the option for drawing double colorless, taking the knockout open.
Yes, he's
if you do that and Pram doesn't get the return knockout on Mew EX, you just knock out the Buzzwole next turn. You're like, okay, what can you do?
And there it is, a double colorless, 2 of them in fact.
And another Zorua as well. Not the prettiest hand in the world after this turn, but there's a Professor Kukui that could get there.
He's got some draws, and he might take a prize this turn as he attaches to the Mew.
And there we see the Energy Drive. Knockout on that Rockruff.
All right, let's see what Pram can put together. Baby Buzzwole active, considering an Ultra Ball.
And again, we've seen Pram 2 games in a row now discard that Tapu Lele.
I don't need this Tapu Lele. I'll draw my supporters.
All right, step 1.
Diancie,
get Diancie. That means with an energy and 1 heads flip, a swing around could take a knockout on this Mew EX. Granted, if Pram gets a strong energy, he doesn't need to flip coins. Even though probably he'd get 2 heads.
Oh, of course. It's not even a question. All right, there's the Buzzwole GX. Here is a Max Elixir. Misses.
We all can't be perfect. It's fine.
No, it doesn't happen every time.
If it was a perfect world, then I think everyone would be playing Max Elixirs.
They were just guaranteed to hit. Here we go.
It's another energy I could play on top of my energy.
The 4th Max Elixir in the game, and it misses again.
Things are not looking good here for Pramawat.
Yeah, so now he's in a position where he's saying, okay, I can find that energy, hopefully get a knockout here, but he can't Max Elixir anymore. He can't really accelerate.
Yeah, he's going to rely solely on B-String, and with that Buzzwole GX on the bench, it's going to be easy pickings for Pedro in the next coming turns. Oh no, the 1 energy that he gets is a Beast Energy. It does allow him to take the knockout, but you also kind of don't want to sacrifice that right away.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate use of it, even though it does get the knockout and the 2 prizes for Pram.
So here's the good thing for him. It looks like Pedro's hand is literally just Professor Kukui.
Right, yeah, he just has the Kukui.
No Rockruff down.
All right, let's see what he can put together.
All right, Tapu Lele is a pretty good attacker for him here. Just being able to double colorless, deal 100 damage right away, but you might as well just get 1 hit on the next turn by this Baby Buzzwole.
There's the Kukui. The look on his face when he plays the Kukui, knowing it's not his best option.
I swear I heard Michael's laugh.
Double colorless.
All right, yeah, and unfortunately that Choice Band does not add that 30 damage against this Buzzwole, so he will not be able to take the knockout. He is 10 short. Where is the Reverse Valley?
Yep, and here we go. There's the attack.
120, don't forget.
All good, all right. Action back on Michael Pramawat. Looks like Strong Energy was the top deck.
So this is what we were talking about. Like, okay, neither player has really done anything. But as long as Pramawat just keeps attaching energies and attacking, he's going to win this game.
Yeah, his deck just has a lot. I like to call them moving parts. There's a lot fewer of them. As you can see, Pedro has no Zoroarks up. Pram going to be in a rough spot when this Baby Buzz goes down, but he can't think about that right now. He's got to focus on the present.
Yeah, he actually Sycamore's away to Brooklet Hill here. Just does not want to deal with Lycanroc from Pedro's side of the field.
Yeah, doesn't want to give Pedro a chance to use it. There's a knockout.
Wow, attaching 4th energy to that Buzzwole, the Strong Energy, making it so it gets the knockout.
2 prizes remaining, Strong and Baby
Ooh,
Buzz.
the good old turn 4 Bridget?
Not exactly the intended use of the card, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. 2 Rockruffs coming down.
Do we see a double colorless to, I think it's what, Ram? No. Yeah.
On the Zoroark?
Yeah, on the Zorua and just take the knockout.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have many better options.
You can't leave that Ultra Beast there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, that thing has 4 energy on it.
Yeah, 1 more, and you could like Ninja Boy into a Guzzlord or something.
Looks like he only has Strong energy in hand.
Ooh. And wow, this Buzzwole living another turn, not being knocked out. Just 10 HP remaining. Guzma. And he doesn't even... Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, go ahead and Guzma back to the original Baby Buzz. Take the knockout. 1 prize remaining for Pramawat. Top deck is the double colorless, and that's going to be a scoop as Michael Pramawat ties things up 1-1 here in round 5.
Yeah, no timer balls from Pedro there.
No, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of
all.
anything from Pedro there. As he just ended the game with Zoras in play. The turn 4 Bridget, like you said. I mean, it's always a bad feeling when your opponent, they have a bunch of cards in hand, they're head on board, and then you have to play a Bridget instead of an N. And you gotta say, okay, well, I hope your 7-card hand doesn't have it.
Yeah, we saw there, like, Pedro was looking pretty good too. It's just that hand he Cynthia'd into could not get him any further than that first knockout.
I mean, you just saw the look on his face when he had to play the Kukui and just kind of shrugged and said, okay, well, this isn't really where I want to be on turn 2 or 3 or whatever it was. But that's what you got to do. It didn't hit anything, and Pram was able to just kind of outspeed him.
Yeah, and I believe we still have plenty of time for a final game. These games have gone pretty quick.
Here we go. Players shuffling. Pedro's going to get a chance to go first. Nice honorable handshake there.
Yeah, remember, these are 2 former international champions looking to win a second one, trying to catch up to Tord.
Yeah, you don't play the tournament unless you want to win, and no one's going to catch Tord for a while, I suspect, but you got to give it your all. Let's take a look at Pramawat's prizes. The Beast Energy.
Both Rockruff starts, too. One thing that Pedro did not get.
Double colorless again.
Really? Wow. All right. I mean, it worked first game. Might as well work game 3 for him.
Yeah, I mean,
you keep them in your prizes so you'll draw them later on.
Yeah, exactly. It's a guaranteed draw at that point. All right, game 3, 17 minutes left on the clock. Pedro going first.
Again, with another rough hand here. Ultra Ball discarding a Puzzle Time and a Zorua. Not what you want to see from your turn 1 Ultra Ball. And he still has a decision to make. He could go Lele into the Bridget. His hand is, I think, Lycanroc and Timer Ball with like a strong energy. Or he could just try to go for a supporter, but it didn't really work out last game.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because we were just talking about how you can't really afford to Bridget with nothing else. But if he has Timer Ball can turn into Zoroark, and that turns into a lot of cards. So that he's relying on some
that's
coin flips.
That's a big if, though, yeah.
That is a big if, but it looks like the plan he's going to take here.
Yeah, definitely looking for at least another Rockruff, one of the more important cards in this matchup, like we said. Lycanroc, just such an amazing card. Being able to swing games just by itself.
Looks like looking through his deck has put two Zorua and a Mewtwo up front. Those are going to hit the bench off of Bridget.
So this is a risky play because I think he does have that strong energy in hand. I don't think he discarded off the Ultra Ball. Yeah, he discarded the Zorua in the puzzle. So he can attach to the active, and it kind of feels safe. But again, Buzzwole's a deck where it's like, okay, if I get a Max Elixir, a Brooklet Hill, and just like a Diancie or something like that, like I can take a knockout.
Yeah, you're never really safe, but that is what he chooses to do. Strong energy on the Rockruff, pass back action on Pramawat. Brooklet Hill, something we saw Pram not play last game, just to kind of cut Pedro off of options, but deciding that he needs it. He has pulled that Diancie Prism Star to the front, just like you predicted.
Well, there's that. He has a Lycanroc in hand with 3 basic energy and a Max Elixir. Not really what you really want to see because you're like, well, I have a lot less of a chance to hit this Max Elixir with 3 in my hand.
Yeah, 3 of the 9 that Pram plays gone.
Yeah. Eyeing down that Remoraid as well. We could see maybe not even really an attack here from Pram this turn.
Oh, there is the Remoraid, and that kind of that just signals that he's kind of going more for the long game. Doesn't think that he can kind of try to go off this turn, right? He needs to be able to draw cards and get out of this sticky situation.
But again, that's scary because we know Pedro has that Lycanroc in hand. He just needs to find a double colorless, and he's going to start taking knockouts like that.
Pram readying an Ultra Ball, it looks like, but not before a fighting goes on. The Rockruff. Again, the body language of these two guys makes it very clear to see how they're feeling, and just passes back.
Timer Ball. 1 heads. All right, we got there.
All right, that's, you know, we're
one Zora can turn into 2.
Average luck. Here we go. So Zoroark, and then activating Brooklet Hill, finding a Rockruff.
I also saw the double colorless in Pedro's hand. Such a heartbreak because he's going to Lycanroc, bring out that Remoraid. Pram did nothing on the turn, so we can Ultra Ball for an Octillery next turn.
Right.
And oh my God, like. Trade turns into 2 Zoroarks.
Yep, there's another one, Lycanroc. He's actually deciding not to use Bloodthirsty Eyes, just knocking out the Rockruff, taking a prize. Pramawat top Texas Professor Sycamore.
That was actually the better play because with Pram's hand, Lycanroc Dangerous Rogue just completely negates Pedro's turn. So you leave him with no attack or no energy on board. And you're like, yeah, I have this Lycanroc. I can knock out anything you have.
Looks like he did find a double colorless off the prizes as well.
Yeah, his hand's insane. It's a puzzle time and double colorless. That's all you really need. You'll draw the rest later on.
Yeah, you got trades. You got options.
Brooklet Hill getting that Buzzwole Ultra Ball for the Octillery, and I believe Pram drew a Sycamore for the turn.
Yeah, he top decked the Sycamore. The only supporter he has. He's going to have to go ahead and looks like he's going to fire up a Max Elixir. Will it hit?
He only has 6 left in the deck.
Another miss.
Wow. Max Elixir has not been a good card for Michael outside of turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, that feels bad. Obviously, the Max Elixir is a luck-based effect, but you build your deck in a certain way. You kind of expect the turns to be a little bit different based on hitting Max Elixirs, and it never feels good when you miss, especially so many as Pram has in this series.
Wow, we actually see a retreat. Thanks to that attachment for the turn, doesn't really want to risk not drawing Floatstone here. And really just like, all right, you can't attach energy to that Buzzwole in the active now, so you're not attacking this turn.
Yeah, Abyssal Hand finds him an Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Fighting and a Brooklet Hill.
Oh, I found all of his Pokemon. They're right in the middle of his deck.
That Rockruff coming into play.
And again, with having to use that energy to retreat, there's not going to be an energy coming down on the Rockruff for a Dangerous Rogue next turn. He's really going to be on the back foot, and the Buzzwole is going to get knocked out. And sure, Beast Ring is going to be active, but there's no Ultra Beast in play. He's really going to have to work to try to get this win.
Well, there's an Ultra Beast for the next turn. That Baby Buzz off the Sycamore.
Yeah, not really. Like, he's set up for a little bit, but he's so far behind right now. Just been a quick 1-2 punch with this Lycanroc. Another Timer Ball.
Misses. All right, we're on below average luck
yeah.
at this point. Another trade.
And Zoroark Lycanroc is a deck, like, we usually see Evo Soda is the card of choice for, like, Zoroark decks. Just because it's an extra way to just, yeah, I'll get Zoroark in play. But you really want to utilize Lycanroc's Bloodthirsty Eyes, and Evo Soda does not do that. So that's why you see players take the risk with Timer Ball. And man, does it feel bad to do double tails, but man, does it feel good to do double heads.
Well, in this deck in particular, like we were talking about earlier, when you got the one Zoroark, and you're like, oh, it can just turn into two. Like, having one Zoroark isn't necessarily the same as just having any other stage one, right? That allows you to get so much draw power, go through your deck so quickly that the, medium case scenario of one heads is usually just fine.
Oh, yeah. And here we see Pedro actually discarding the double colorless from his hand just to secure this Lycanroc so he can take the knockout on the Rockruff.
So knockout back to Pram. Floatstone Octillery getting set up into the active position.
Looks like he does have a Super Rod, a great utility card. Just you play so many 1-ofs in this deck, you really need to make sure you have them later on in the game, and Super Rod's the card that does that for you. Also, Super Rod in combination with Brooklet Hill is insane.
Yeah, you just put it right back onto the field. Not a big deal at all.
There's the first Beast Ring from Pram here. Gets 2 basic energy, so he just Super Rodded his stuff into play.
Yeah, he absolutely did. 2 energy on the board.
But again, there's not really, he's not going to take this one-hit knockout on this Lycanroc. He's not going to have enough damage modifiers. We could see a Guzma here to just take a knockout on a Zoroark to try to keep up in the prize trade.
It looks like that's what's happening. Guzma on the Zoroark.
Sledgehammer for a lot of damage. I believe it is 320 damage right now.
Floatstone comes down. Abyssal Hand for 4 cards.
And his hand still is good. There's Max Elixir, which he'll probably miss it.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on your definition of good, I suppose.
Because there is a way for him to just navigate through this game of, yeah, I'm going to Guzma your other Zoroark next turn, and then I'm going to Guzma your Tapu Lele and win.
Basically just kind of going around Pedro, right? Kind of not worrying about what threats he's presenting, just choosing to prey on his board a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely on a clock, though. These Lycanrocs are relentless, man.
I mean, look at them. There's 2 out there now. Pedro's drawing cards. He's Guzmaing. There's the other one protecting.
And even has the other double colorless to Claw Slash. Again, Field Blower coming down, getting rid of both Floatstones. Definitely taking away some of the utility Pram has next turn.
Yeah, not going to be able to just kind of freely, safely retreat anymore. That's a knockout.
Oh, and he's actually trying to think up, can I deal 200 damage with this Buzzwole on the bench? We might even see a retreat from this active one. He has that beast energy. He has a choice band. He has a strong energy on the bench one already. Man, okay, so base 80 damage, base 100 or 100 with the Diancie. Then you have 120 with the strong, 150, 180. So we'd be 20 short.
Unfortunate situation for Michael Pramawat. I feel like this whole match has kind of been unfortunate situations for Pram.
Well, we say unfortunate, but if he keeps drawing Beast Rings, and he could just steal the game.
That Max Elixir does hit. Basic fighting on the benched baby Buzzwole.
I was actually surprised that Max Elixir hit, because with the 2 basic in his hand, he's gone through so many. He did Super Rod the 2 back, but...
Super Rod the 2 back and then Beast-Ring them.
If he flips enough heads, he can take the knockout on Lycanroc.
All right, here we go.
Because it's base 180 after everything, and he has 2 chances to hit 200. It'd be very important if he draws a Floatstone here, because then he wouldn't have to sacrifice those 2 energies on the active. And you also are staring down another Lycanroc on the bench that's better than the one that's in the active spot. So you're still kind of playing from behind right now.
Looks like Pramawat only has the 2 Floatstone, though, and they've both been Field Blowers. So he's going to have to pay to retreat if that's the plan.
We see another Max Elixir in his hand, but how many basic fighting does he have left? Oh, he has quite a few.
Yeah, there's only 1 in the discard pile, I think.
Yeah, 1 in the discard, 3 in play. But I don't see a Beast Ring.
No, he's just going to go ahead and Ultra Ball. Getting rid of some of the cards he doesn't think he'll need. It looks like a Brooklet Hill and a Lycanroc GX.
Yeah, and I think this Ultra Ball is really just, like you said, getting rid of cards. N is going to be the biggest card right now in these remaining few turns. And even for Pram, N could be a draw card for him.
Yeah, he does have the artillery, but he just needs to kind of make his deck as good as possible, basically. Max Elixir miss.
No, man, that is huge, because now it might just leave him with 0 energy next turn.
Finishing up off the Max Elixir. Going to be an interesting attack here for Michael Pramawat.
Yeah, there we go. Can he flip the heads Are you a fan of rolling 2 at the same time?
Oh,
Apparently he is.
Yeah, he gets the heads. I'm only a fan of the 1 at a time. That's my style. Slow and deliberate.
And here is the Mewtwo. That will be a knockout on the Buzzwole. And it being a non-2-prize attacker, it's really going to put Pram just basically in like a checkmate format right now.
Yeah, I mean, what can he do? So let's just say this happens. The Buzzwole goes down. What options does Pram have? What else does he have now to kind of keep himself?
He has... he could play a Guzma and an N in the same turn to try to win. So basically, Guzma up the Zoroark, hope your opponent doesn't have a way to retreat it. You take a knockout in 2 turns. Or you N him to, I think, 2 now? Or no, is he only at 3 prizes? Wow, okay.
He's still at 3.
Oh, no, he's at 2 now, yeah. So N him to 2, and then he still gets 1 trade, and you sit there not really doing much, I guess. Like, you end him and then hope next turn you reach a critical mass to where you can actually take a knockout on a Zoroark in 1 hit.
Basically, it's just a lot of build-up for the next turn. You can see players consulting each other's discard piles. We get kind of down to the wire here. 2 prizes remaining for both players. A little under 4 minutes left on the clock. The counts in your deck become really important, making sure how many floatstones does Pram have? Okay, I've gotten rid of all 2. How many of this does Pedro have? Really, really important as we get into these last few turns.
Well, the thing that will seal the deal for Pedro right here is Puzzle of Time. Looking through his discard, he's used 1 early on. So he really needs to find 2 of his remaining 3. If he does, he can get another Lycanroc. And with that, just bring up the Buzzwole with the energy, and I think Pram would just scoop there. You can't do anything. And wow, a Tapu Lele and a Guzma as well. Who needs Lycanroc when you can just Guzma the Buzzwole?
Not Pedro, that's for sure. Looking through his own discard pile, or his deck rather. Kind of seeing what his outs are.
Search. Really just checking to see, like, I want to make sure I have these supporters and all that stuff for next turn. Actually chooses the Mallow here.
Yeah, Mallow has a pretty cool interaction with Zoroark GX, kind of getting to choose which cards you draw, put 2 on top, and then activate trade and draw them both. What do you think he's going to go for here?
It looks like he's eyeing down that Parallel City. Definitely a good card. And Floatstone, just another way to save that double colorless on the Mewtwo for later. Because remember, one of Pram's big outs is like, I'm going to put all this energy on this Buzzwole and hope to take a knockout.
Yeah, that was clearly Pramawat's plan from last turn, just kind of attaching, passing, and saying, all right, next turn or bust, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually parallels himself. Such a smart play. He sees Pram's outs, and he just completely gets rid of them.
Yep, just negates them so that I don't need this Zoroark. It does a lot for me, but we're not going to play too many more turns here. That Brooklyn Hill should be in the discard pile. I'm sure it'll not be all that relevant as Pedro goes down to 1 prize remaining. No more Zoroark on the board.
Okay, so meanwhile, Pram's hand... oh, no, don't use Brooklet.
Yeah, there's no... Okay.
Whew. So he isn't reduced to his bench, so he can play that Tapu Lele down. He already has the Guzma in hand. He's now doing math. 2 strong energies plus the Diancie. You do a base 140. You can flip 2 heads to knock out the Tapu Lele. What does he have left?
Looks like what he's trying to determine. What are my outs? What can I possibly do?
He also needs to hit this Max Elixir. It's his last one. There's 4 basics in the deck. But if he doesn't, he automatically loses. But if he does, oh boy.
All right. Oh, he's taking a lot of time here, really considering his options. Gonna take the Guzma.
And it looks like time is winding down, but this game will be over either this turn or next. Oh, he has the choice band as well. Is that... Okay, so 150. 1 heads?
Max Elixir?
Oh, no, that's knockout, right? He just needs this Max Elixir and he wins.
Does he see it? Does he see it?
There's the fighting.
He gets it.
He has it.
Michael Pramawat.
Guzma, bring up that Tapu Lele. He could not get rid of
There's
everything.
the handshake. Michael
Wow.
Pramawat advancing to 5-0.
Wow.
Classic Prams.
Classic Pram. What else would you expect, folks? This guy does it and does it again.
I don't know if you can hear that reaction.